So it's weird how quickly that technology turns around and people forget. Like, just no one knows. No one has to use a map. When's the last time you had to use a map, Gavin?
An actual map?
Like, you pull out a paper map to get somewhere.
I couldn't tell you. So long ago.
You ever use a map?
No.
I think the only map I've ever used is like of a mall or a theme
I'm talking
park.
Oh yeah, and it
Not
says
an
you are
actual
here.
map,
I
yeah.
used a mall map when we were in Australia. That doesn't count. I meant to like.
But like an actual city map
I
where
guess-
you could drive, no.
Video games, I use maps a lot, but yeah.
I remember driving to like places in Houston. You know, probably 20 years ago now. Yeah, about 20 years ago, maybe being like, okay, I've never been to that part of Houston. You know, let me pull. I take it back. When I first moved to Austin.
That was your glove box. Had all your maps in it.
Yeah, when I first moved to Austin in January 1998, the first thing I did, I moved into an apartment complex. I went to a gas station across the street and I bought a map of Austin and I pinned it to my wall. And I was like, I don't really know Austin, so as I go places, I'll use this map to help me get around. Then I'll highlight areas I've been to, so I'll know. Okay, I remember I've been here before.
God, I'm way too lazy to
Like
do that.
there's even like the old joke that people have about like you go to some place and it's like how do I find this place? And they say, well, go down and take a left at the tree, you know, where Jimmy broke his leg, and they go. There's like this old joke about that, like people giving you landmarks that don't mean anything to you. But even the act of asking directions isn't even a thing anymore. Or like the thing that men never want to stop and ask directions. That's like a classic joke, but it just doesn't exist anymore because nobody stops and asks directions.
Brendan's one of those guys that he'll be like, oh, in order to get to this place, you'll go down, you'll take a left, and I just like I just stared at him blankly. I stopped listening to him. I was like, I will have this information in my GPS. Why are you talking to me right now about this?
I ran into a family once in Tokyo back in 2005. I was going to the Tsukiji fish market, and I got off, and it's kind of like removed from the center of the city. I got off the train, and there was this obviously not Japanese family, like standing there looking at this huge map on the wall of the train station. There's nothing in English on the map. It's all in Japanese, and they're just like, it's like an older couple and like their young tween children, and they're just staring at this map entirely written in Japanese. I'm like, I need to help them. So I walk up to them and I'm like, are you guys lost? Do you need help going somewhere? It's like, oh, thank you. You know, we're looking to get to Tokyo Disneyland. You know, where do we go? I was like, okay, you guys are in the wrong place. You want to get back on that train, go in that direction, get off at this stop, and then go over there.
Yes, it's so
You're
sweet of
nicer
you.
to strangers than you are
I
people
felt
in your
bad.
life.
They were like, we were in the middle of nowhere. It was like, this is like a bumfuck train
You
station.
probably saved that family's life.
And no, I mean, it's Japan. What the fuck's going to happen?
Maybe they would have kept going.
It's like
and
no
go
crime.
somewhere.
cat at the train station would have
You
herded
would've
them to
starved
the
to death.
station.
Somewhere in mid-fuck Japan.
But it's just really weird. And back then, 2005, that was before iPhones. You know, now I think with the iPhones came out 2007.
Okay.
So with the explosion of smartphones, I feel like we've just become too reliant on them for everything. Honestly, I give Aaron a lot of shit for it, but I think it's really admirable that he doesn't have text messages.
No, it's really weird.
No, it's fucking
He
weird.
has everything else, though.
I would admire him
Why
more
not
if he didn't have
text them?
WhatsApp.
Yeah. Huh?
Why not text messages?
I don't
It's basically
know.
just tiny
I ask
email.
all the time.
I think his answer was with text messages, it's expected that you'll respond immediately, but with email, it's not. It's like email, you can respond at
He
your
doesn't
leisure.
like. Yeah, he doesn't like the.
He doesn't like the instant.
But he has WhatsApp.
I know.
I,
And with WhatsApp, you could see when someone receives your message.